What's up, everybody? How you doing? Welcome back to the Punk Rock Review. This is another episode of Shop Talk here at 31 Records, my record store. The music in today's video is going to be Adam and His Package. The album is called Redefining Music. One of my favorite synth punk type bands. I heard about them way back in the 90s. They were on a comp and they had a song called The Punk Rock Academy. And I've always liked this band. It's like if Devo was a modern punk band, it would be this. Very cocky and weird and silly and tongue-in-cheek a lot. It's great music. Check this album out. You'd like it. All right, so on today's episode, yesterday we covered pricing, right? Well, I want to talk about something that's really useful to the viewer of this channel. So I'm going to give you a couple tips on how to care for your records. Specifically, something like a picture disc, because dude, I don't really like picture discs, but a lot of people do. They fly off the shelf. But there's a lot that you need to know about this kind of stuff. I got some notes on my phone that I'm going to read. Shout out to Chris Klink. He's the one that made me aware of this particular issue. And okay, a couple of notes about records. First and foremost, I'm not going to just crap on Crosley because I don't care enough, right? But if you have a decent collection of records, please buy something that's better quality than one of those little suitcase record players. They're just not made to last a long time, and they're not made to care for your records. You want something with a decent cartridge and decent stylus needle. Stylus, because if you have something that's high quality, it won't damage the records. And the cartridge, you want something that produces good sound. There's more information than even I have for that particular topic, but you want a decent record player. It doesn't have to be top of the line, but it shouldn't be bottom of the barrel. That's asking for trouble. When records get to you brand new, you should clean them before you listen to them. At least with a brush or something, because there are little particles of paper and dust that have gotten into the grooves that can damage your equipment and to make it sound bad. You're not supposed to hear that hiss and crackle, the pops that people hear of vinyl sounds. It's not supposed to be there. It's supposed to be very clear and clean sound. But yeah, those are two tips that'll help you out. Get a decent stereo, a decent record player, and clean your record at least a little bit before you listen to it. Take care of your records, man. Store them standing up like this. Don't have them laying down for long periods of time in stacks, because it'll possibly damage and warp it. Clean them after you have it. If you use them a few times, clean them again. Clean your record player. Just take care of your equipment, unless you simply don't care. And if you don't care, it's your stuff. Do whatever you want with it, really. So, okay. So when you get a picture disc, they often come with. Okay. So a picture disc record is basically a record. I don't know how they're made, but they have an image just put onto the record, and you can play the record still. To my understanding, I don't like them because I'd rather just have a colored piece of vinyl, that, I don't know. I know that the sound quality on a picture disc is not as good as it is. And if you don't have a really, at least middle of the road stereo, you may not even hear the differences, but I know I hear it on my stuff. But they come in these really thick plastic sleeves typically, and I've always thought that they were weird because they didn't look the same. They kind of stick to things. So in the store, I have to include everything that came with the record, or I would just toss them, right? But if you have a record at home that is a picture disc, take it out of that, clean it, put it into anti-static inner sleeve, and then from there you can put it in whatever kind of outer sleeve you want. But I would recommend getting rid of those. Now, the reason why is interesting. So, all right, I'm going to have to read off my phone, so my apologies. Okay, this is from a buddy, okay? PVC sleeves, over time, do a phenomenon called off-gassing. Let's see, he says, if you remember the film that I showed you on that Riverboat Gamblers record, that is off-gassing. He showed me a record from the band Riverboat Gamblers, and it had almost like a matte film over it. It was weird, and it's you can't remove it. It says it's not removable, it's not cleanable, and in some cases it can drastically negatively affect sound quality. Not only that, but off-gassing can happen to neighboring records. So if you have a record in your collection on a shelf, it could happen to records that are next to it. Now, how many records next to it, I don't know, but I would imagine at least the one on either side. So now you're talking 3 records getting damaged, and you had no idea it was going to happen, and it's not your fault. Go figure, right? Why don't they send these things in like a cardboard? I used to have an AFI record that was a picture disc. It came in a cardboard sleeve with a piece of cellophane over the front so you could see it, and inside of it, it had a regular sleeve. Why can't they do that with all these? It would make sense to me, right? So what is recommended is whenever you get home, you throw the sleeve in the fucking garbage, is what he said. Put it in a good inner sleeve, and then either cut some cardboard to fit around it. So I have done this. I have made these sleeves here, and I have these little dividers. They were real cheap ones, so I'm not using them in the store anymore. And I cut them to fit behind the record, so when the record goes in, it's got a little bit of strength behind it, so it can stand up on the shelves without damaging anything. And boom, now it looks really nice. It presents really well. It is preserved. And I got a couple of these. I've got this Blitz record. This one was in one of those sleeves for ages, but it's unharmed. I've got these two lower class Bratz records. But the real sad thing is that this Casualties record, now I didn't see any film on it, but there's a little bit on the very center of the side B. I'll just show you. Okay, so I don't know if you can see it, but okay, I can't remember everybody's name, but okay, can you see in between George and the dude with the orange mohawk? There's like some, let's see if I can see it. Yeah, you can see it. There's like some print that was on it because of a piece of paper that was left. This paper here was left in between the record and that weird sleeve. Now, I don't know that it wouldn't have happened otherwise, but I do know that that sleeve gets a lot stickier and hotter. So when I took it out, now it's been out for a long time. I've cleaned it, I've played it, it plays fine. It didn't really produce any kind of weird sound, but it is a flaw on the front of the disc, or on the back side of the disc rather, right? And so it's no longer like a VG Plus record anymore. It's, you know, whatever really, right? If you have a really, really high-end stereo, you might notice something. It's only in the center. It's the very last song for just a couple of rotations of the record. So when I played it, I had to go all the way through the record of the side B to even get to the point where I thought I could hear something. But it didn't really affect anything. But this is really how you want your picture disc records to look. As far as like maintenance on your records, I say that if you have a really, really large collection, it'll be expensive. So I say just take care of it as best you can. But if you have a small collection, man, every couple of years, take them all out, clean them all, rebag them inner and outer. That's what I do. And I've got about, I don't know, 400 records. So I don't have like a tiny collection, but I don't have like a gigantic collection either. It's a substantial amount of records. But every time like sleeves and whatnot go on sale, I'll just buy a couple extra packs and stick them under my, like on a shelf or something. And whenever I go to clean them all, I'll do that. But I don't know, man. Taking care of your equipment is incredibly important when you're doing records, especially if you're getting stuff that's valuable, scarce, or, you know, just your favorite records, man. Also, don't overpay for like first pressings when you can get represses. It's not necessarily record care, but dude, my favorite album, Rancid and Out Come the Wolves. I've got a first press because it's my favorite record, right? But dude, I listened to a $22 copy of that thing, or maybe 30 bucks. I don't know, 30 bucks copy of that record, right? And next year, it turns 30. I guarantee you they're going to have some kind of special release, so I'll be getting one of those too. But don't overpay for stuff if you don't want to. If you're a really big fan of a certain band and you want to splurge on something, go for it. Honestly, it's your money. Do whatever you want, really. But I'm saying, like, man, don't feel like pressured, because some of us really like valuable records for whatever reason we like them. Some of us don't really care for that much. I've got a couple of pricey ones, but most of my records are represses and just stuff I want to hear when I want to hear it. But don't feel pressure to have a collection that meets any kind of standard, because there is no standard. The standard is, what do you care about? What do you want to have in your record collection? What records are you going to listen to? I highly recommend listening to the albums that you buy. I've only got 2 albums in my entire collection that are not opened and that will not open. One is that first press of Out Come the Wolves, and then I have a Tim Timebomb and Friends that's unopened that I'm not going to open unless I get a second copy of it. And I want to eventually get a second copy, but if you know what that record is, you know how expensive it is. So that may never happen. But yeah, man, picture disc records, they're fun, man. I like them, okay, but they're collectible. People really like them. They put them on their wall. A lot of people listen to them, but don't leave them in those PVC sleeves, dude. It'll damage them. It's just cheap material. I don't really know why it's in there. I don't know why they don't come in a regular sleeve. I really am perplexed by that. Outside that they want them to be visible, but you can get a die cut sleeve made probably just as cheap as you can get one of those PVC sleeves. I guess if they could, they would have already done that, huh? I don't know. It just seems like it's real unnecessary to me, but yeah. Picture disc. Let me know in the comments what you think about picture disc records. Do you have any? Have you had any of them damaged? Have you had any records in those PVC sleeves that have a film over them? Crazy, dude. I'm going to do another video here in just a second, so it'll be up later today, maybe tomorrow, where I'm going to show you guys a little goodie box. I got some 45s, bro. You're going to want to see these, man, so stay tuned, man. But this is another episode of Shop Talk over here at 31 Records in my record store on the Punk Rock Review, man. Yeah. I'm happy, dude. I love this stuff, dude. I'm so glad that you guys are responding to these videos and you're enjoying them, because I like making them. This is my whole life, and I'm incredibly proud of it, and I'm honored to have you as a part of it. So thank you so much. If you haven't done so, like the video, subscribe to the channel, bro. We're almost at 10,000. I can't believe it, dude. I'm so stoked about that. Seriously, man. 10K is the first big, like, first big plateau I'm trying to hit. And then we're going to be looking at 15 to 20K, but I'm going to do a year-end video with, what I like and what I did about 2024. So that'll be a live stream, and then I'm going to work on a really big video for Rancid and Out Come the Wolves for the 30th anniversary. Dude, I got a lot of stuff in the works, man. So stay tuned, and let's hang out, all right? Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it. I'll see you in the next one, all right? Peace.